If we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, item number 2, adoption of the agenda. I was notified that we do have an exempt session to add at the end to review contracts. Otherwise, there are no surprises. Anybody have a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the agenda.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Item number 3, superintendent's report.
Thank you, Board President Wiehlander, other board directors, community members, and staff. It's summer, so that means it's time for summer school. And so having taught in summer school, having been an administrator for summer school, I find summer school actually a great time when well done. And we've made a number of efforts this last spring to revise our summer program, changing up a little bit more of the activities, finding a good balance between social emotional learning and ELA and math content for our students that are at the elementary and middle grades. And then it's mostly credit retrieval for high school students, but we also have some transition courses like preparing for algebra. So we've historically done that since I've come on board. It really helps our students prepare for the more rigors of high school math. And we've also switched up a little bit about which youth we're targeting over summer school, so that it's not just a potpourri and all doors are open. We're really trying to focus our energies related to the strategic plan. Again, really excited about it. A lot of games, a lot of rewards, activities, stuff like that will make it exciting, yet also preparing them because we want our students to feel really confident during the school year, and this is a really good opportunity for them to build their skills, their confidence, and their social skills on top of it. So exciting. We are, again, positions, we are almost done. I don't think we have very many more. We'll have just a few here and there, but really, again, just want to reiterate, sorry if you were lined up to try to get a job with the Shelton School District. You can go ahead and apply, but we've got a lot of candidates. We have some jobs with up to 50 applicants. So it is, people are lining up for sure. I'm even getting emails, so people are out there looking for work with the Shelton School District. So I always think that's a really good sign when you have that many applicants at any school district for that matter, especially for us. So it's been part of our efforts, and again, part of our strategic plan around effective teachers and leaders, and we've done incredible work around recruitment. They know what we're about, where our focus is, which is really important, and we also support our novice teachers and leaders with mentoring. So that's some of the great work. And then last week, we had I call it an administrative retreat, but I've been corrected. It's really a work session. It's not very retreaty. It's kind of like what the board does. They're not really retreats. They're really work sessions. There was 70, so it's really just school leaders and teacher leaders. I'm a real believer that teacher leaders need to be at the table. And there's so much in leading a school. The complexity is quite immense. I don't know if folks really know what that really means, especially when we're talking about all the nuances that each school operates in, contextualizing what we call research or evidence-based practices. And so we're really lifting in on a number of things. Some of the things that we were focused on with folks for the 2 days last week was leadership team structures. We know that when we have teams coming together, what is the real purpose of those meetings? How are they structured? What is at the table, including data? And then really is about action planning. That's one of the things often missing from a meeting is a lot of conversation, but what's the agreed upon actions? And then who's gonna do it with what kind of time period and how do you monitor it? So just best practices for meeting structures, but also about how the different teams within a school operate and then who has which decision-making authority so that it's really clear. Staff really look for that, so a lot of people were excited. The two other areas were staffing schedules. So one of the things we've been trying to set up, and this year we really have worked through, is where is everybody during the school day? Accountability is really incredible. When people don't have the right purpose or it's coordinated with other people, it's really hard to know, looking over at a colleague, where are you supposed to be and what are you supposed to do? So it creates efficiencies and also real purpose for both the staff and also in relations to how they're supporting students. And the last one is, as I mentioned before, is truly action planning, but it's not just for the team structures, but it's also at the student level. So not only how we're going to improve our programs and how we're going to do your more operational things or things around instructional programs and services, but it's also directly around action planning for individual students who are identified within what we call a multi-tiered system of support, using multiple data points to identify students for supports, and then also, of course, meet them where they're at in their story, strength, and need. Lots of excitement. We had a great time. I really want to thank all the educators and leaders that were there last week. The energy was definitely palpable. And of course, we were following adult learning principles, so there was a lot of 20 minutes of engagement in instructing, and then they have 40 minutes to an hour of planning themselves and obviously supported with coaching. So I've been doing that for now well over a decade. It's worked out really well, and it's a reason why I believe that we'll have some really good news come this fall around our student performance scores. So with that, I'm excited for the summer and really want to, again, thank all of the teachers, leaders, and most certainly our parents for letting us educate their students here in the Shelton School District. This is a really special place. So with that, I'll hand it back over to you.
Good stuff. Thank you. Next will be community comments. We don't have anybody on the sheet. Is there anybody on the phone? Anybody in the audience? Okay. Going to go ahead and shoot right on down to item number 5, reports and recognition. 5.01, budget status report for May of 2024. Brenda Troxtat.
Good evening, President Welander, Shelton School Board. I would like to present the May 2024 budget status report to you tonight. As you will see in general fund, we are back down again because May and June are our lowest apportionment months. May, we only get 5%, and then June is 6%. We go way back up in July and August, we get 12% and 10%. So we will recover and hit our 3 million mark as of August 31st based on that. So we ended May on $552,611.84. And then capital projects funds staying steady with an addition of $10 in interest, so $3,693.18. Our debt service fund ended at $2,535,959.45. That balance is after we paid the interest on our construction bonds on May 31st. And then ASB fund is staying pretty steady at $519,591.73. Transportation vehicle fund is accruing interest until the end of August when we get depreciation. So that ended at $307,355.48. And then our trust funds made up of Drake Scholarship, Mike Johnson Memorial, and the Bulk Memorial ended at $250,047.51. Do you have any questions?
I had a quick question. I know you're saying we're going to be back up to 3 million in August. I believe we have one meeting scheduled in August, and that is the meeting that we do the public meeting for the budget and approve the budget for next year. Is that correct?
Yes, I will be presenting budget at July 9th board meeting because I submit to the SD on July 10th, so we'll have slides and the whole presentation there, and then you will adopt at the end of August.
I just wanted to make sure I was correct on that. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Okay.
You may be
Thank
seated.
you.
Okay, 5.02, college and career readiness update. Gretchen Maliska.
Good evening. Thanks so much for having me tonight. It's a real pleasure to talk to you a little bit about the complicated work and all of the highlights that we've had over the last 12 months. Let's see if I can manage this too. Okay. Oop. I'll get it, I promise. So in today's career and technical education programs, they are geared towards cutting-edge, rigorous instructional programs that should really prepare students for a wide range of high-demand, high-wage jobs. This year, we've really increased our instruction in our freshman academy. We also combined our business and marketing pathways to reflect what's actually happening in industry, and added a human services pathway and realigned our NJROTC program to follow. This work really allows for deeper pathways and better alignment, not only at Shelton High School, but also in the 7th through 12th grade pathways of Oakland Bay Junior High, Cedar High School, and Choice High School. So for example, at Oakland Bay Junior High, we added design into our engineering program. At Cedar, we are aligning our course catalog in our content area. And at Choice, we'll start blocked science periods to increase labs and hands-on learning. This school year, we added 2 instructional coaches or teachers on special assignment. And in the fall, we're slated to we will add 2 more. The onboarding and the work started several months ago, and these staff members are on track to assist teachers in the classroom as well as expand student opportunities. They've embedded themselves into professional development by understanding teacher and leadership side of evaluations, best practices for mentoring or coaching within the classroom, work-based learning opportunities, ASB rules and guidelines to assist our student organizations, and they will continue to create strong pathways and positive experiences in grades 7 through 12 within our whole district. Some examples of that work will be TOSA Tuesdays, where our instructional coaches are inside of classrooms every single Tuesday. Our freshman academy will also have Manic Mondays so that they start fresh and have a clear vision for how to handle their incoming freshmen. We've solidified our paraeducator schedules to Superintendent Jesse's point about how there's accountability and understanding of what their job descriptions are and the bandwidth of their positions. We also created a community partner manual for work-based learning, which includes guest speakers, internships, and field experiences. We just finished a student store manual, so not only our adults, but our students understand compliance, as well as the responsibility and opportunity within our student store. And we'll continue to create a strong onboarding process for our staff that join us direct from industry. So as I mentioned, a real highlight of the year was Freshman Academy, which they've coined High Climber Academy at Shelton High. We have worked really to create an opportunity for students to successfully transition into high school. And the heart of the academy is Freshman Seminar, which is a 2-trimester course that allows our students to understand what their educational journey is, and our staff do guidance and support along the way. And some of those opportunities for curricular success for our freshmen were social, emotional learning and growth through our Character Strong lessons and community building activities. They also had weekly reflections, check-ins, and practiced gratitude, and they wrote a letter to their future selves, which they'll get as graduating seniors. Our college and career readiness side of those courses allowed our students to do interest and aptitude assessment and exploration. They did personality inventories and learning style assessments. They learned 21st century skills or employability skills through games, lessons, and activities. So we tricked them into learning that. And they learned all about our Shelton Academy opportunities so that they did hands-on learning, did reflections, exploration, and in the spring, they used all of those tools to declare what academy they'll enter as sophomores. And they also received acceptance letters based on their academy choices. Some of the experiential learning that they did while they were in the freshman seminar were a tour of the Sierra Pacific Mill. So 430 of our freshmen all piled into buses and took a tour of the mill. For construction, our students worked in teams and they constructed scale models of a house. In automotive, they received tours and hands-on activities that were delivered by student leaders. And in our entertainment productions pathway, they worked in rotating teams to create a live broadcast. Our health science team worked to investigate a medical emergency, and our NJROTC student leaders coached our freshmen by leading them in drill and training. So I wanted to share with you a little bit about what the interest and aptitudes look like. This is U-Science, which is our software platform that we use. And this really represents the interest of students who have just completed their freshman year. And we use this data to understand if our pathways are current with our student aptitudes, if they align with our industry within our community, and how to analyze the skill sets that are in deficit yet in high demand. So you can see that this data provided us with an opportunity to refine our goals and determine how to create engaged learning. And you can see, so for example, we have a high aptitude in health science, but less interest there. We worked with local business partners to create an opportunity for our students to have a home care aide certification. We increased our relationship with Mason Health, where our students did job shadows and were coached through the scholarship application as well. So CTE programs, or career and technical education programs, are really foundational to students in our community. They emphasize the career and college readiness through a comprehensive program supporting career awareness, exploration, planning, preparation, and transition to post-secondary education or training. And our CTE programs are integrated with core academic standards and opportunities for all students. Many earn college credit while participating in our programs, as well as industry-recognized credentials. And in these graphs, you can see the industry-recognized credentials are offered in 62 of our classrooms, and 984 students earned the credential. We also have 72 college articulated classes, and almost 4,000 students earned credit. I'm sorry, our students earned almost 4,000 units of credit. And I always want to bring the enrollment data to you. I think the multi-year analysis is just very interesting. You can see at Shelton High School, we really remained the same. At Cedar High School, our enrollment decreased a little due to long-term substitute positions, as well as some shifting in the curriculum that we're offering. And that happened at Choice as well. OBJ remains pretty steady as well in our enrollment, but this allows us to create bigger goals and to analyze the data. So that's what we'll be doing over the summer. So I want to share a few moments we're celebrating. There's a lot that has happened in our year. We've had a lot of community and state recognition. We presented at the Future Healthcare National Conference. We also presented at the State Future of Work Conference. We actually have national competitors in our career and technical education student organizations, or the ASB clubs and activities. And so this summer, several of them will travel across the country, really, to compete at national levels. We increased our community engagement, and we've added an additional financial literacy option in the fall for our freshman students. So in the last few years, we've had that at the senior level, and in this coming fall, we'll also offer it to our freshmen to come full circle with that learning. We did a club rush with our student organizations. We did Real World Wednesdays, where we brought community partners in and invited students in to understand what it was like to be inside of that career. we were able to create an artificial intelligence foundations course, and we're recognized at the state level for the work that we did there. And I also want to say that tomorrow night I have this really great opportunity to honor one of our agriculture teachers for the second year in a row has earned Outstanding Early Career Teacher of the Year. Elizabeth Warren is being recognized tomorrow night, and she actually will go on to the national level to compete there as well. I think that's a pretty amazing opportunity, and as an early educator, that's a real highlight for her. But because we've worked with administrators, staff, and industry partners, we were really able to enrich our experiences for our students, as well as enhance the learning. We focused on guest speakers, industry partners, community engagement activities, all of which increased student belonging. So the compliance part of my report tonight has to do with the requirement at the state level of a 4-year plan. And so I've brought this plan forward to you multiple times. It changes shape and form a little bit every year as the state changes its template. But this allows me as a director to review all of the 3-year plans within each of the CTE program areas and then create a 4-year plan as a district entity. There are 16 program standards, and each is targeted to evaluate on an annual basis in conjunction with our comprehensive local needs assessment and our Perkins grant. So then we determine what we've accomplished every year. If we haven't met those goals, we break those down into smaller goals as well. This also allows us to align with the strategic plan, a culmination of a cabinet work stream, the school improvement plans, as well as our CTE goals. And it's how I evaluate a lot of our data and the tools that we use and the frequencies that we use them. So some of the deficits that we have to work on for the next 12 months are increasing our guest speakers through Real World Wednesday or in-classroom opportunities. We would like to increase the dual credit, so the college credit as well, so we'll be diving into that. We have a dust collector to replace in one of our shop classes, and that's always a heavy lift. And our student store continues to unroll and increase the opportunity to open up a new storefront in the bottom of the Shelton High School sub. So our students are creating the furniture and the designs around that as well. Highlights are the College and Career Expo. That happens every November, and we've changed the format a little bit for this coming year, so students will have interactive experiences rather than just guest speakers that they go to. We're working on standards to lesson plans, so we're breaking down all of the standards within our curriculum and ensuring that we have solid lesson plans and that they're all aligned within their program area. Our Freshman Academy calendar is built and is a beautiful piece of documentation, as well as all the lessons built behind that. And that's a really strong team that will just continue to improve. And we have additional ventilation in a couple of classrooms that we're installing over the summertime. We've created a CTE calendar, and our instructional coaches are really strong. So with that, I am asking you tonight to approve my 4-year plan and in inviting any questions that you might have.
Any questions? Go ahead, Carla.
Yeah. It sounds like a wonderful plan that you're building, and I'm so glad we have it at Shelton High School. Just a few curious questions. You said you're going to move financial stability class from senior year to the freshman academy. I think that's what you called it.
We have a financial literacy engagement opportunity. We call it the Bite of Reality, where students receive an assigned career with an assigned salary. They might have a family or a home or a significant amount of college debt, and they use that false reality, and the vendors around the room are pressuring them to break their budget. So that's our financial literacy fair that we've had called the Bite of Reality. We've done that with our seniors. We're adding our freshmen. So in the fall, our freshmen will experience that, and our seniors will experience it in the spring.
That sounds great. Real life experience always helps. Well, not real life, but a climb
Close to it,
real
a
life.
simulation.
Yeah. So the other thing is career, being prepared for college and technical training. So when they go into the medical field, they could be preparing for college classes to go to college, and some of them are seeking something they can do right out of high school. So there, in each strand, there's a mix of how far they want to go.
Yes, there are multiple opportunities that we're teaching to a career pathway as well as a college pathway and a technical college as well, right? So there are kind of 3 tracks in that opportunity. A great example is our partnership in the Health Science Academy with Mason Health, where they offer students a career path through that scholarship, and then they have an opportunity to later go back and either do the 7 to 9 weeks of training or go into the college career after they get their feet wet with Mason Health.
Yeah, that's wonderful. My other question is that I see you have the entertainment business under a strand of finance. Do you think there'll ever be an arts strand for music and art, drama? What do you see as in the future? Is that a possibility?
That's a great question. So those are, at the state level, they're 2 separate funding models. So CTE doesn't actually support the music or performing, or the music industry. I'm sorry, those traditional music classes. However, we have programs like School of Rock where our students can learn how to play a jingle, and then they work backwards, and then they learn how to play the actual instrument. So we are working on implementing those. That's been a multi-year process for us. We have to really study what the framework was, how we can fit that into our district, and how we move forward with that. So the answer is kind of. We will push the envelope in the CTE world as much as possible to break into that opportunity while respecting the traditional music pathways.
How are parents accepting this? It's not the same high school they went to school and same format. Are you getting a lot of feedback from parents?
I personally don't receive a lot of feedback around that. It might be a better question for the principal or the assistant principals at the building. I will say there's a lot of excitement from our students, and there's a lot of excitement, especially around the freshman academy with our staff. They really went through an amazing refresh, and those resources and the collaboration was significant. As Shelton High School, all of their staff will belong to an academy. I think that will increase the excitement, and that hands-on learning is really what it brought. We were doing the core learning in career and technical education from all of those core subjects, but we get this opportunity to showcase how CTE and core academics really partner.
I think you've done a wonderful job, so thank you for your effort and hard work.
Thank you.
Gary?
Yeah, I wanted to jump in. It's exciting to hear you talk about all of these things because I have 2 kids that are now moving into sophomore and junior year. So one was a part of the freshman academy, so I got to see how that was working. When I went to Nashville, I don't know what it was, 6 years ago, and saw the academies, I know that that was a component of that academy model, and I'm so glad to see that land in Shelton because I do think that that helps give all of the freshmen a better understanding of the pathways and the courses that they may be taking. I know you're asking about parents. Oftentimes, because I am a parent of a high school student, 2 students, I'm around those conversations, and I think one of the biggest concerns that, because this is a different model, and people that are older, they reflect back on their own high school experience, and this may sound different than what they experienced, or their fear is that their child has to pick a path, and they're locked into that path, and what if they don't like that? What if they don't want to be in health sciences? But what you find, and from talking to teachers or anybody else, is that they have a lot of flexibility in their schedule to take a lot of different things And it's not a locked-in path, and there can even be customizable things if it's not within the broad umbrella of what they're looking for. So I think that year after year in our Drake scholarships, the students by far and away reference the academies as being something that's been very exciting and gives them the hands-on experience, and they choose specific career things, or they talk about the certifications that they've been given the opportunity to get. And that's the other point I wanted to make, is that I've talked to 2 people who came in and were guest speakers, and they loved being able to do that. And my older daughter was in the marketing class where they had the different guest speakers come in, and she really enjoyed hearing about the careers, and I think that's such a wonderful thing to tie our community into this. My younger daughter went on the Sierra Pacific field trip. They all got to wear hard hats and walk around the whole thing, and it was an incredible field trip with an industry that's right here in our town. So I love all of the exciting things that are going on with this program that truly are hands-on, exciting work that ties the students and the community and career paths and needs. And like you're saying, giving them experience in a variety of settings that are for high wage, high, demand jobs, which is exactly what we want to be doing. So really appreciated your presentation with all of the data and how that tied in as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
And congratulations to Elizabeth Warren. You said that's the 2nd year she's received that award?
Yeah, it's amazing. She's done such a wonderful job, and she actually has an alumni who's also being enrolled as an honorary member. So we'll honor an alumni from 2021 as well.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. And I do want to say the student store is amazing as well. I mean, the kids that get an opportunity to work in that allows them to get hands-on skills that translate to getting other jobs that they have as well too. And I keep hearing feedback about that, how they really enjoy working in there. So lots of great things.
Thank you.
I really like the emphasis on mentoring and coaching for the newer instructors instead of that whole instructing. As somebody is in government and public administration, I am disappointed with the number of interests and the level of aptitude in government and public administration. I will say to everybody out there, you're missing out. It is absolutely fascinating to understand the whats, the whys, and the hows the RCWs actually come into place, and how our government actually works. Truly missing out. That's all I have.
My question was about youth science. Is that something just Shelton uses, or do all students at that level?
That's actually a nationwide software program. And when I went to Nashville several years ago, I was surprised that they are in conjunction with the Nashville Academies as well. I have had previous experience with it in a couple of other districts, and it is every year it gets better and better. So they have the aptitude and interest tests, they have high school and beyond plan, they have career planning, they connect you with industry partners as well as internships and apprenticeships. So it's a really robust program. I want to say they're based out of Utah. But I probably have 5 or 6 years of experience with them. They're great.
Thank you. I noticed that teaching was number 4, and I thought that was really exciting since we, as a nation, need more teachers. So
Yeah, and our careers and education program is now under the human services pathway, so we'll be able to showcase not just the careers within as an educator, but all of the district opportunities that we can offer, anything from facilities to food services to careers as a teacher, but as well as counseling and EMT and all of the things that fall within that human service pathway as well. So that will allow us to grow.
Fantastic job and presentation, thank you. Sounds very exciting for the students.
Thank you.
And you're looking for approval of your 4-year plan?
Yes, sir.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the four-year plan.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
You got a plan.
Thank you so much.
Okay, on to item number 6, the consent agenda. Has everybody had a chance to review that? And if so, I would take a motion.
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
And I'll second that.
Any discussion or all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Discussion and action items, number 7. Proposed new policy 3142, the International Student Exchange. Tabitha Whitting. Second reading and recommend approval.
Good evening, Board. This is the second reading of the policy that was presented to you at the last board meeting. I did not make any changes to the policy, but based on Becky's question, I did dive a little bit deeper into the differences between the different types of student visas. And Becky, you were correct that high schools can technically accept both a J1 and an F1 visa. But my research indicated that most school districts, public high schools, do not accept the F1 visa, and that's for a few reasons. One, the F1 visa is designed to be more of a work-study visa, which is why typically it's college students that are using that visa. But more importantly, the J1 exchange program is overseen by the U.S. Department of Education, and they oversee the host families. They are the ones that are ensuring that students are safe and have a quality, well-vetted host family, while the F1 visas do not have those requirements. So a high school principal could get an F1 visa for a student and have them come over and sleep on a friend's couch. Nobody is overseeing that. It's problematic for a couple of reasons. One, obviously student safety, and there has been a long history of that being abused for student athletes, because while the J1 and the F1 visas both expire after 1 year, students with F1 visas can transfer to a private school at that point, and there has been evidence that that is being used to recruit student athletes from out of the country to come on that F1 visa, which is why most public high schools do not accept that and use the J1 visa instead.
Thank you. Very good.
Anything else? After that, I actually can't imagine there being any other questions. Do we have a motion?
I motion to approve proposed new policy number 3142, International Student Exchange.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Good job, thank you. 7.02, proposed new policy 2100, educational opportunities for students with parents in the military. Brenda Trugstad.
Good evening. At the last board meeting, I presented the first reading of policy 2100, so I'm here tonight to request approval on it.
Did everybody have a chance to review that? Any questions? Do we have a motion?
I move that we approve new policy number 2100, educational opportunities for students with parents in the military.
Second?
I second the motion.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Not moving.
7.03.
Also at the last board meeting, I brought you first reading of policy 3120 on enrollment process for our students, so I would like to request approval of that this evening also.
Did anybody have any questions? Okay.
I motion to approve proposed revised policy number 3120, student enrollment.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, on to 7.04, proposed items to declare surplus.
Well, it's that time of year again. We do our annual collection of surplus here in Shelton School District, so all the schools have the opportunity to gather things they no longer use or broken or that type of thing and declare it surplus. So I'm bringing this to you this evening for approval. What will happen then is I send it over to ESD 113. They offer it out to school districts for 30 days. And if nobody wants anything, which typically they don't, but then Robert and his crew will have a surplus sale at the ASB 300 next door on August 7th from 10 to 6 that day. So, and we will advertise that in the newspaper before that happens. So I would like to request approval of all the surplus items in your board packet.
I motion to approve the surplus items.
I'd like to second that after saying I'm very nostalgic and I kind of want to be a hoarder with some of those items you had listed, but I'm going to let them go. So I'll second that. All in favor?
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Item number 8 is board member comments, and we'll start at this end with Director Davison.
I don't have a lot of comments. I am happy that for everybody that school is out, that summer school has begun. I think that that's great. I just recently got back, like really late last night, from a 9-day trip with Shelton High School with the Spanish teacher. Took several students from Shelton High School. We joined a group that was from Iowa and Nebraska, and we started in Barcelona, Spain, ended up going down through Carcassonne and Avignon, France, into Florence, and ultimately our final destination was Rome. It was an incredible trip. We met multiple different student groups that were there doing the same things. I'm just very thankful for Miss Ferreira, the Spanish teacher, who is willing to do something like this, and it's through the company Passports that they just did a phenomenal job with local tour guides that were very educated on all of the extensive history and culture in all of those places. And it was an incredible experience to be able to go as a parent and seeing the other student groups. Many parents go along on these trips, whether as a chaperone or just going along on the trip as well. And I know that Shelton High School, it's not just limited to those taking Spanish classes. It's for any student that's there at Shelton High School. I believe they do it through the French Club, and the students get together at the beginning of the year, whether you're part of the French Club or part of any of the languages at all. Anyone is welcome, and they get feedback on which trip the students might want to go on. So if anybody's ever thought they might want to do it and they have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those, because it was an incredible experience with my daughter, and it was just really neat to see so many others from other areas. Just met so many other students doing similar things. It was just really cool, even though I'm working on like 4 hours of sleep for the past 2 days. So I'm a little punchy tonight, but that's it.
Director Knudsen.
Okay. I'd like to thank all the presentations, all the people who presented tonight. It's nice to know that things are going well. I have a letter to read, as I've decided to resign from the school board, and this is my letter to the Shelton School Board directors and to Superintendent Jesse and the public. I'm resigning from my position as School Board Director, District 1, as of June 26, 2024. I regret that I must step down, as I care deeply about the educational opportunities for the children of our community. I will always support the effort to make our schools better. I want to thank each member of the board and their consideration of my ideas. Also, I appreciate Superintendent Jesse for answering my questions in detail and willingness to discuss educational issues. Thank you to the people who supported me during the election. I have discovered that this season of my life is not a good time for me to engage in this very important job. I wish the best for the Shelton School District, and I thank all of you for the experience here of working on the board. And that's it.
Can I jump in since I went first? I just want to say thank you very much for your service. When you were first appointed and then elected, it has been wonderful having you here on the board, and just really appreciate the time and effort you've put in to this.
I appreciate it.
And I just wanted to say that you'll be missed. I have appreciated your perspective, and I have truly enjoyed getting to know you. And thank you for your time on the board. Director Gilmore, you are up.
I'd like to thank everyone that was here with us tonight. The people from the school district and our three community members, thank you for always coming. We appreciate it. And I want to also thank Carla for the support and guidance you have gifted me this year. You provided the board with an important educator perspective. The continued passion and care you have shown for this community with families, staff, teachers, and students cannot be readily or easily refilled. You have provided us all with a reminder of how influential and meaningful a teacher can be in their community, and the essential perspective of educators in board decisions. I hope that you will continue to reach out with guidance and an educator's perspective in the future.
Thank you.
Director Cronquist.
Ditto, Carla. I hate to see you go, but thank you to the staff. You got girls, ladies, you're doing a fantastic job. I appreciate it.
Okay, and to close out with this part of it, reminder that our next board meeting is on July 9th, and we do only have one in July. Yeah, it's summertime. Make sure everybody's being careful out there. Sunscreen, bike helmets, life jackets, all of those things. And truly, I'm not kidding. We need more interest in government and public policy. It really is a fascinating and actually fun thing to get into. With that, we do have an exempt session, and we will be back after that.
And don't forget to utilize the library in the summer reading program.
Oh, yeah, summer
And
reading.
the library is so incredible now for kids with its giant pirate ship. I don't know if any of you have been in the... My daughter came home from school and kept telling me there's a pirate ship at the library, and I thought it was going to be this little dinky thing, and oh, it is cool. It is a cool library space.
Arr. Anyway, hey, we'll be back at 7:05, and then we'll close out the meeting from there. Thanks.